So today's video, we're going to be talking about something that I've noticed here on social media and of course, on the YouTube channels, is that I've noticed a lot of guys, they'll have some kit, gear, hardware, whatever it is they're talking about, and they'll talk about it, and they'll talk about how great it is, and they'll sing the praises. You may see 2-3 videos, and then after that, that's it. They'll talk about how good it is and how they've tested it for months, but you've only seen one video. So how do I know you've really tested this for months? And to that end, I wanted to do this video. This is my, what is that? Oh yeah, this is my Team Wendy SAR helmet. I know I've talked about this before, and so today I want to do a 1 year in review of this helmet and talk about how it's held up. Stay tuned. So a little background on my helmet. When ammo kind of started getting a little scarce about 2 years ago, I decided to take up rock climbing, rappelling, and various other similar activities. And so I decided I needed a helmet. Well, because of also the possibility at work that I may also need something like this for whether it be search and rescue or whether it be going down cliff sides and retrieving people or parts of people, decided I might need a helmet. So which led me to the Team Wendy helmet. So I know I've already talked about it in the video that I did earlier. Go ahead and check that out in the comments section or in the description below. I have that video if y'all want to look at it. What we're going to talk about today is how's this held up over the course of a year and a half, and what did I use it for? What was I doing with it? Now, I also want to point out that when I was using this helmet, this was not a, extreme torture test that you see people where they take the helmet and they're like, oh, I've done my best to break it, and if it broke, it didn't held up to my standard. Look, man, if you're trying to break something, it's going to break. What I did the past year is what a normal person would use it for: rappelling, rock climbing, and of course cave exploring. So since then, I've actually gone into Stevens Gap about 3 or 4 times. When you go in, you'll actually go through a keyhole. Keyhole is basically wide enough to wedge your body into. We use 2 ropes to rappel down into using an ATC system. As we went down, of course, there's multiple different ways you could hit your head. There's a lot of rocks coming in, and of course, if anything's not, solid and sturdy to the wall, it can try and fall and hit you in the head, which of course is why you want to have this. So once you go down, the keyhole opens up to the cavern below. It's a 140 to 160 foot drop into the cavern. I didn't have no problems. I did kind of bump my head possibly 1 or 2 times. The helmet held everything, didn't really notice other than just that, that bump against the side of my head. The helmet, I wore it for a period of, at one point, I think I wore it for a period of 2 hours. Didn't really bother me that much. The helmet really wears good. It didn't, provide any problems. There was no hot spots. I actually also, during some of the periods, I would wear my GoPro here on the front of the helmet, where is this mount right here. At one point, I also did have my light attached here on the rail. Now, granted, this is not the regular rail that you'll see on a lot of bump helmets, but this is more of for search and rescue, and it's a purpose designed helmet. It has, or if you need to wear goggles, it does have the slots here, and if you need to wear a face shield, it does have the attachment here. Going into the cavern, as I said, it was 140 to 160 foot drop. Now, as you go in, you will notice that there is a pedestal. Of course, if you don't land on that pedestal, it's probably going to be a long drop down to the bottom. At one point, we actually did go all the way to the bottom, and we went and explored some of the caves at the bottom. Me and a friend of mine got down, started taking a look around. There was actually 3 waterfalls at the very bottom, which is really cool. One of the other things that we also did was, as we did the cave exploring, this helmet, it held up great. In fact, this was probably one of the best parts of the whole trip, was being able to explore it and being able to move through there, I didn't really feel like I was hitting my head. Now, I've also done some other cave exploring through some other areas in the region that I live at. After, what, a year and a half, what would be a negative that I would give this? Well, this is actually a very big helmet. You know, if you're going in tight and confined spaces, this is actually a extremely large and not conducive for working in confined spaces. That's not to say it's a bad helmet. It is just something that you need to understand, especially when you start mounting accessories, whether it be a GoPro, NVGs, you start putting anything on the side, your size of your, basically your brain bucket is going to double in size. One of the other places that I've used this is rappelling off of Mount Cheaha in Alabama. So I've actually rappelled off of it several times, and again, same thing, using this helmet, wearing it for multiple hours at a time. This thing was extremely comfortable. At no point did I feel like, okay, this is starting to bother me, it's starting to hurt. I never once felt like this was a issue. Using it just through its normal use, normal wear and tear over the course of the past year, doing this a total of what, once or twice a month for a year and a half, I have not had any problems. Of course, there is scratches, ding marks, but overall, I don't really have any complaints. I'm not seeing any issues. I'm not seeing any wear. So to wrap this up, after a year and a half, would I still continue to use this helmet? Well, of course I am. I bought it. Will I buy another Team Wendy helmet? Yes. Actually, this coming year, I'll probably buy a bump helmet. And I probably won't have no, reservations whether about buying it or not. I feel confident with it, and the same thing, I'll probably do a video about it, and who knows, maybe a year from now, I'll say, hey, this is a year in review video, and this is what we've decided. Okay, guys. If you like what you're seeing, go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button. If you want to see more videos of gear, like updates to it and thoughts and opinions, go ahead and hit the comments below. Later.